So here we are in sunny South Florida where the mosquitoes are the size of buzzards, and if the poisonous toads don't kill your dog, the alligators finish them off. We're in the training facility of Full Send Canine Training here with Mr. Rebel, one of the most handsome golden retrievers you'll ever find. And what we want to demonstrate today is utilizing opposition reflex to help the dog stay in positions longer and actually reverse psychology to make them fight you to stay in position, whether it's sit, whether it's down, whether it's place. We're going to demonstrate the technique first, and some of the prerequisites are the dog must understand positions, which Mr. Rebel knows sit, he knows eye contact. And secondly, he must be charged on a marker. We're using food, we're using existential food training. The first tool we're going to utilize is a slip lead. We like complex canine dominant slip leads. It offers a lot of versatility. Instead of applying it like you would a dominant slip lead, we want to put it down low on the base of the neck, not up high to cause an aversion. We want it down low to tap into opposition reflex. What opposition reflex is, it's an involuntary, innate desire from the dog when they feel tension restricting them to drive against it. It's in every single breed and every single dog to some degree. Little Chihuahuas, Great Danes, Mastiffs, some of the Rotties and the Bully breeds have a very high level of opposition reflex. So when the dog feels that tension behind them, they're going to fight to go against it. For walking your pet dog down the street, it's very counterproductive. But if you understand opposition reflex and how it works, you can utilize it to your advantage. Now, the very first step we're going to utilize is the dog understands place. What Chris is going to demonstrate, very first, he's going to put the food lure just outside of the dog's reach. He's going to take the leash and create opposition going behind the dog first. So we do, the dog's fixated on the food, use the lure as a target, and then as he's causing restriction, when the dog fights against the restriction to drive towards the food, he's going to mark, release pressure, and then feed the dog with a reward. So what the dog's learning to do right now is to fight him to stay in position. So we don't, right away, we don't do it where we're pulling the dog out of position. We start here to give the dog the understanding of what we're asking. And then slowly but surely, in law enforcement, we call it slicing the pie. But what we're going to do is systematically start taking the leash to different angles and eventually have it underneath the dog's chin where he learns to fight to stay in position. So if you imagine that this is a clock, this position would be 12, 11, 10, 9, and all the way down to 6 would be 180-degree utilization of the leash. And eventually we want to get to the point where we're doing it in sit, doing it in down, doing it in place, every position. So we're going to continue to slice the pie, eventually get underneath the dog's chin. So now Chris is at about 9 o'clock. So now he's getting more and more closer to going right underneath the dog's chin to pull him out of position. Now you see the dog bracing, right? That is utilizing opposition reflex to stay in position. A lot of people have difficulty and are challenged by the dogs maintaining sit, maintaining down, maintaining place under a lot of distraction. We also call this resistance training. So the bottom line is that we're utilizing this innate trigger, this involuntary response in the dog as reverse psychology to help the dog fight to stay in position. Perfect. Now let's create a little distance, almost go to the end of the lead. Yeah, leave him in a stand. Now you see this body language, you see that resistance. That's classic opposition reflex. We do not teach the dog that. God created that. And we're utilizing to capitalize on fighting to stay in position. Excellent. Perfect. What a good boy. Perfect.